What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. We've got a fun short video today taking a look at an actual update to do with Rugby 24. I know what you're thinking, Mad Dragon, it's been a long time since you spoke about Rugby 24. It has. It was a month ago that I actually made the video asking, where is it? What's going on with it? We've had no updates. Were you guys worried? It was really interesting to get your guys' feedback from that video. A lot of you saying, you know what, Mad Dragon, I know we're a third of the way into the time, but I'm still not that worried about it. I'll wait till the end of June, and if we don't hear anything by the end of June, then I'll start getting worried. Well, we're on the 20th of June at the time I'm filming this. We still haven't really heard anything from the developers themselves. AFL hasn't gone particularly well from what I've understood through different people who play different games. A lot of the people are also a little bit worried about the cricket game that's coming over from Big Ant Studios, and some of the people who were sort of defending it being like, you know what, it'll be fine. It's mainly because Nacon is probably a little bit more focused on some bigger games, and then they released Golem, which didn't go down well. So we've actually got some news today that Rugby 24 is now available for pre-order. Now, I think this might have actually slipped by me at some point. They've not really sort of announced it a little bit, but thankfully it's at least something we can have a little bit of a look at, because there is a couple of things to go over. So like I said, this actually might have been noticed by a couple of you guys. If you live elsewhere from the UK, maybe you've actually already sort of seen this in your own different stores and stuff. Where I've seen this in the UK is from Game, who, if you're based in the UK, you know a lot about Game. They of course sell games. It's a great name for a company, but this is the first place that I have seen anything about this game actually coming out. I own a Xbox. I've been checking the marketplace to see if anything's popped up, and nothing is actually out on like the official systems yet, but Game have been the first people to actually jump in and say you can pre-order the game. The release date, they've still got it at the 7th of September, which of course is just before the World Cup. I still think that's a really silly date for them to be releasing this game on, mainly because it literally gives you one day to play this game before the World Cup starts. It's also coming out on a Thursday, which means a lot of people will probably be at work or school when this game comes out or what have you. So I'm not really sure why they've chosen that. I think it'd be so much better to release this game like a week before the World Cup. I'm guessing there's some sort of licensing reason why they haven't been allowed to release it due to them having the World Cup licenses. But it is going to be releasing in September. We've got 79 days left to pre-order. There is nothing currently about what you get for pre-ordering. If you pre-order it, normally you get some sort of bonus. You didn't for Rugby 22. For anyone who hasn't seen my massive review video of Rugby 22, you will know I would be incredibly hesitant to pre-order this game on disc. That's my own personal opinion from previous experience with this line of games. I got it on disc. You got no bonus for it, and if anything, it was actually worse. So, my own opinion. It's one of the joys about not being sponsored for these videos. I get to say the truth of what I actually think about it. So, if you're going to buy this game on disc, I would say be hesitant till you find out the full details as well around this game. So, we do also have a price point. $44.99 is what this game is going to release for at launch, which is still a hefty chunk of cash. Just for comparison's sake, I went and found the video that I did for Rugby 22 when that initially got announced for pre-order as well. They have stayed completely in line with the price point, also £45. But again, if you've watched my big review video, you'll know on the day of release, they only did pre-orders in physical copy for Rugby 22. And on the day of release, they immediately discounted the game on the day of release if you got a digital copy. So you had a digital copy, play it immediately, download it, didn't have to wait for the post one, and you got it cheaper. But they didn't announce that on the way there. So again, be a little bit cautious if you think about pre-ordering it this early on. Something else to keep in mind here, Rugby 22 was able to be pre-ordered on the PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and the PS4. If you go back over to Game, you can only pre-order this game on Xbox Series X, PS4, and PS5. Now, I did read an article about a month and a half ago that was talking a little bit more about this game, and in that article they actually said it's not been confirmed what platforms the game was being released on. Now, I went back and checked out the little trailer and stuff. This one, Rugby 24 is involved in that little 6-second trailer we got to see from the nacon event, and it definitely outlines here PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One alongside of Steam. I know this is also alongside of Tiebreak. Maybe that's covering that, not actually both games cover all that. So it's very interesting that this game seems to be missing out on Xbox One. That might be a thing just on Games website, but it is most certainly just those 3 platforms. So if you have an Xbox One, maybe start to get a little bit worried about that unless they update that further along the way. In terms of some other stuff then, the actual cover art for the game is nothing. We still have no cover art for this game. There is 79 days left till this game comes out. We still don't even know what the box art is going to look like. We've not seen any gameplay trailers. We've not seen any trailers for this game, actually. We've not seen any in-game images. We don't really know what's coming with this game. They do, however, have the little World Cup license, though, which is nice. That means it definitely will be having the World Cup license, this one. It is an official World Cup game tying in, which is nice. It's interesting they don't even have like the actual Rugby 24 logo. I thought they would do the 24 in red and have it like the actual Rugby 24 logo. 79 days left. There's nothing to tell you what you get for the pre-order. There's also no mention of any sort of early access to the game. You know, if you pre-order the game, you get a week's early access. No mention of any beta, which is one thing that I really enjoyed about Rugby 20. I'm not really sure if I'd want to see a beta now. I'd almost be a little bit worried if I saw we're 80 days from release. Do you want to play the beta version of the game? No, I want a complete and well-made version of the game. I don't want to be playing a beta, but some form of early access would be nice for your price point if you're going to support the development team and pay your money up front. I think that would have been nice. But something that is interesting, which I don't think I've really read anywhere else, they have actually increased this little paragraph about themselves. Now, some of this we already sort of knew from the trailer and what have you, but Rugby 24 is an official product of the Rugby World Cup 2023. Superb, we know that because of the logo. Choose your country from more than 130 national teams and try to bring home the Webb Ellis Cup. Now, I originally heard there was 130 national teams. I thought that might come down to there is 130 licensed teams. If you remember, Rugby 22 said there would be 60, and then when it came out, there was actually 50. They just completely avoided the marketing they'd done earlier for it. So 130, that's confirmed there again, 130 national teams to bring home the Webb Ellis Cup. That to me says it's going to be 130 actual international teams. It doesn't say licensed teams, so it could be a bunch of sort of made-up teams just to represent each one. But hey, if we get that many teams, you can put a bit of Madagascar in the World Cup. That sounds like a good laugh to me. I like the idea that is actually going to be what they go down, and this 130 doesn't just make up all the club level teams as well. But this second sentence, the game also includes the top championships, which we sort of already probably going to expect is going to be the same as we had the URC, the top 14, the Pro D2. That's also they already had. A complete career mode. I did do a poll on the channel about whether you wanted to see a Mad Dragon career mode, and that poll came really close, 50-50, like yes or no. So we'll have to see what happens about that. We'll see how good that career mode turns out to be. But also this bit, various multiplayer modes. Now that intrigues me quite a lot. What do you do as a multiplayer mode? Because you think you versus another player in teams. Do they sort of incorporate into that maybe multiplayer at home? Like, oh, you can play with a friend, or you can play on your own online. That's multiple modes. Not really sure what they mean by that, but if there is actual different multiplayer modes, maybe you can like play as a beer pro player on a team against someone else while there's an AI team. Maybe you can do the AI versus the AI, and you get to sit and watch a game, which I've seen people do for wrestling, and I think that would be a great fun to do some commentary over. I like doing commentary over rugby games. Maybe it means different actual games, maybe shorter games. Maybe there's going to be like a sevens multiplayer alongside of like Rugby Union's 15. So some interesting stuff that they are beginning to slowly add in. I just kind of wish this was coming from official sources, not finding it out from game. I would have liked to hear this from the actual developers who are showing like, rock on, this game is awesome. In terms of the actual description then for you guys, it just has the release date for it. Rugby 24 captures the very essence of rugby with deep gameplay that faithfully recreates the sport. That's what we've got from them. There is nothing else. It doesn't say any teams, clubs, tournaments, what you're going to be able to do in the game. There's no other pictures for the game. They've got a couple of things to do with your delivery and stuff, and then everything else is just to do with the game. So nothing else to really tell us about the game, except for the fact you can spend money right now and pre-order it. But like I said, if you are planning on getting this game in a physical form, I would maybe hold off a little bit closer to the actual release date itself. And just to double clarify for you guys, so I know also in that game release, obviously they won't be having like a PC sort of keys for it. I imagine it'll be coming out on Steam, as we saw in the trailer, but it is definitely not actually yet available for pre-order on Steam. There is nothing for Rugby 24. I probably should have put a little space in there as well, shouldn't I? Oh, I'm messing everything up. Space Rugby 24. No, apparently Dead by Daylight's the closest thing you can get for a Rugby 24. So still nothing available for pre-ordering on PC. Nothing else to go with for now, but it is just going to be that we now have a pre-order actually available for us guys here in the UK. I'm not sure for anyone outside of the UK how you get it distributed to you. Maybe you guys have a more sort of renowned game store that's sort of similar to Game in the UK. Might be worth checking with them to see if there is any other form of pre-order, but I couldn't find anything else on Google. But there we have it, guys. We have a price point. We have an official way that it can be pre-ordered. $44.99. Same price as Rugby 22, which was nice, but when that game got released, it did get discounted day one. And I'm not really sure if you wanted to pay $45. If you played Rugby 20, £45 was a bit of an extreme price for Rugby 22. If you were buying it just straight off, you never played Rugby 20, maybe that was a fair price, but it's still a hefty chunk. £45. At least this one's going to have an official World Cup tie-in. But there we have it, guys. Let me know what you think. Is it a fair price? Are you still a little bit worried based on how much you're not hearing about this game more than what we are hearing? Are you an Xbox One player that's maybe getting a little bit worried about that? A lot of fun stuff to talk about in the comment section. I look forward to reading through them in a bit. If you enjoyed this one today, make sure to drop this video a like. Of course, we'll be following the life cycle of Rugby 24 up until it gets released. And then on the day of release, there'll be a bunch of videos out on the channel, and I'll be doing a live stream on the day this comes out, one day before the World Cup actually starts. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel to keep up to date with all the latest videos. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.